hopefully. So good morning, colleagues, partners, and members of the EthioLatinCoffee Community of Practice. My name is Alam Tasfai. I'm Regional Programs Manager at OSREA, and I'm also a project coordinator for the Empowering Ethiopian Coffee South-South approach to climate finance and carbon credits. It's my pleasure to welcome you to today's webinar on the South-South Knowledge Exchange on climate action and carbon credits. Thank you for joining us and for your continued commitment to strengthening climate resilient and sustainable coffee landscapes. So this webinar forms part of our broader initiative, the Empowering Ethiopian Coffee, a South-South approach to climate finance and carbon credits, which is being implemented by Austria with the generous support of the Spanish Cooperation in close collaboration with various partners here in Ethiopia and also beyond. The aim is not only to introduce innovative climate finance mechanisms into Ethiopia's coffee sector, but to ensure that women coffee producers, who are at the heart of coffee-based agroforestry systems, play a leading role in carbon credit generation and benefit sharing. Today's session brings valuable perspectives from two distinguished presenters. First, we'll learn from the Paparico Mangrove Restoration Project, an inspiring community-driven initiative demonstrating how local mobilization, environmental stewardship, and sustained engagement can generate both ecological and social impact. Second, we'll hear from EthioTrees, Ethiopia's pioneering Plan Vivo certified project, whose experience in community-based carbon credits, benefit sharing, and measurement, reporting, and verification offers practical lessons, not only for our own pilot in the Kaffa zone, but also for others. So our intention is to create a space where knowledge flows in multiple directions, south to south, and across participants who are participating today. We hope the insights shared will inform the next phase of our project, particularly as we prepare to scale up carbon crediting activities, strengthen women's participation, and enhance community readiness. So please feel free to engage actively during the Q&A segment. You can use the Q&A part of the webinar to ask your questions, or you can raise your hand and we'll allow you to talk. Your perspectives, questions, and reflections are essential to shaping an effective and inclusive climate finance pathway for smallholder coffee producers. With that, it is my pleasure to begin the program by inviting Dr. Johannes, who is a senior climate expert in this project, to say a little bit about our project, the Empowering Ethiopian Coffee through Climate Finance. Thank you once again for being here, and over to you, Dr. Johannes. Dr. Johannes, are you around? Let me see. Okay.
No?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great.
Please continue.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Thank you very much, Mr. Alex, for the opportunity to share just a brief introduction on our project. Well, our project takes place in the Shedda Kabale, which is located in Kaffa Zone, Southwestern People's Regional States. So actually, my presentation complements the two main talks today by showing how similar community-led and carbon-focused approach are being applied in a coffee growing landscape. So as Alam said, we are working to improve the livelihood of women farmers who are central to our project. And the project is built on coffee-based agroforestry, specifically targeting degraded or underutilized farmlands. So by integrating the coffee with shade trees, we aim to restore ecological health, increase climate resilience, and ultimately create opportunity for carbon credit generation. So actually, our project emphasized a strong community involvement. So because of that, our first step was extensive community mobilization. We held a series of consultative meetings with the diverse stakeholders, such as the local leaders, women groups, cooperatives, government stakeholders. So this inclusive approach built as a trust and ownership. So today we have about 108 volunteer women farmers who are truly driving these project successes. So before we begin the intervention, we conducted an essential baseline assessment. This includes socioeconomic survey, soil testing from representative farmer plots, and also mapping of each participant farmland. So this baseline ensures that transparency and will enable us to prepare for future carbon monitoring and verification. Initially, we plan to establish our own nursery, but the project lifespan is 2 years, so we quickly rehabilitate the degraded plot. We use an accelerated seedling procurement and distribution. To do that, we supplied more than 90,000 coffee seedlings from Bonga University and over 300 shade tree seedlings from the local cooperative. So all the volunteer farmers already planted these seedlings on their respective farmlands in the last beginning of rain season. We also carried out a series of capacity building, which is also another core component of this project. We developed 2 training manuals, which are also translated into the local language. The topic covering climate smart coffee production, sustainable land management, and also vermicompost production. So today, over 70% of these volunteer or participating women are producing vermicompost. So this will enable us to reducing reliance on chemical fertilizers and improve zoology. So ultimately, this is an important step towards long-term sustainability. And we are also in the phase of expansion to the neighboring Kabale because based on the positive results we obtained from the Shadda Kabale, we are now expanding to the neighboring Kabale. So the lessons that we get from the previous year, we are going to support to scale up to establish a new nursery, which is capable of producing about 300,000 coffee seedlings. So this expansion is being carried out with a woman-based cooperative, aligning with the best practice by strengthening community institutions and also integrating the livelihood opportunities. So what we are looking ahead, our focus is on strengthening agroforestry system for future carbon credit generation and continuing to restore the green land through community-led processes. We are eager to incorporate the lesson from today's main presentation, particularly on community leadership and Plan Vivo methodologies. Our project is in the process of registering under Plan Vivo standard. We have also a good news that our project is selected as one of the Plan Vivo project accelerator, so we can achieve certification and fund faster. This also will in turn enable us, our community, to access finance and markets that might otherwise be out of reach. Of course, this also led us to scale up positive impact for nature, climate, and to the neighboring zones or regions. So with that, thank you for your attention. We are grateful for this South-South knowledge exchange, and we look forward to learn from the presentation that follows. Together, we can scale effective climate solution while empowering local communities, especially women farmers, to lead meaningful changes. So with that, I now hand it back to you, Mr. Alamo.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Dr. Jonas. You have given us very good highlights of what we have so far achieved in our project. Thank you for your insights on that. If you have any questions on this, we'll allow you to ask your questions during the question and answer session. So next in our program agenda, we have a presentation. So the first presenter is Isabella Mansend. She is Chief Executive Officer of UMITA Limited from Kenya. She'll be presenting about community mobilization and best practices from the Papariko Mangrove Restoration Project. Over to you, Isabella. Mickey, can you put her presentation? Yeah, great. Hello, Isabella. Can you hear us?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me to present at this very important meeting. I come from Kenya. Our project is based in Kenya at the moment, but we work in other parts of the world. The Papariko project is specifically a Kenyan project that is restoring the mangrove ecosystems. This project is the first blue carbon project in Kenya, certified by Vera. It has gone through certification. You know, Vera is a compliance standard. There are different standards. I see you are working on Plan Vivo as we work on the Vera standard. Anyway, the principles are the same. You have to follow the rules of your standard. Now, UMITA is a management consulting firm. It works in partnership with the Kenya Forest Service, which is a government body. And it works with another organization known as VLINDA. VLINDA is the one that supports us. They are the ones who have the platform for selling carbon, and they also link with investors. Now, how we mobilize communities, our entry point is actually the community forest associations called CFAs, because CFAs have been given the mandate by the government to co-manage forests with the Kenya Forest Service. You know, that then gives them the rights to utilize whatever is in the forest, because they cannot utilize public forests if they don't have an FMA. This is Forest Management Agreement. And the Forest Agreement Management is the one that gives them the rights, like for beekeeping, for carbon, participating in carbon projects, for grazing, for raising seedlings, all this. So CFS are very important. They have a governance structure where they have their leaders, and they are formed by residents who live around the forest, at least 5 kilometers away from the forest. They empower the local people. You know, they give them the power to participate. You know, the people join in form of membership. They have to pay a membership fee to become members of this. You can move the screen. Now, the reason why we went... Was somebody saying something?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I was asking Mickey to...
Yeah. Of course, I see we are talking on the other side, you are talking about coffee, which is important. Here we are talking about mangroves, which is also important because they all support trade and they support food security. Now, these systems are very productive because they support biodiversity. They are biodiversity hotspots because of crabs, fish, mollusks, birds. Many other species in the ocean depend on them, especially for breeding. They are carbon sinks. Actually, it is known that mangroves sequester 10 times more carbon than terrestrial forests. So if you have 10 trees on the terrestrial ecosystem, it is equivalent to 1 mangrove tree. Then the livelihood benefits, of course, we have firewood, we have honey, poles, traditional medicine. They can also be used for ecotourism when they make like boardwalks. Then natural infrastructure, they reduce wave intensity by up to 66%. You know, if the waves hit bare coral, then it starts degrading and eventually it gets into people's farm. But when mangroves are there, they shield that. And that's why you find that the mangroves that are right next to the sea, they never grow up straight. They are kind of bent. And even that bending is also decorative, and that's attractive to people who want to decorate their spaces. And that becomes another form of degradation, an incentive for them to be degraded, because that particular shape attracts people who want to put up cottages and ornamental stuff. Entry point. Now, how we enter the community and how to mobilize them. We usually have organized forums. Here they're called barazas. community dialogues, fishermen group meetings, community mapping by identifying degraded areas and agreeing on restoration zones. When we do that, we also get to mobilize them. Leadership structures, we have the chairperson, committees, youth and women reps, and we usually sit with them when they have to make decisions or they sit on their own for whatever decisions they want to make. Grassroots coordinating, ensuring community members know the dates when they have meetings or events, what are their roles and responsibilities, especially during the restoration period. Then conflict resolution, again, from within the CFA, they have a body that deals with conflict resolution. Next. Some of the outreach tools, like we have environmental days, World Wetlands Day, World Mangrove Day, World Environment Day, World Desertification. There are so many. Then we have the coast cleanup days. We have local role models, successful community champions who inspire others. We have demonstration plots showing survival rates, root development, natural regeneration. All these have been set up in the field where we are working, and it's open for people to come and learn. Cultural storytelling, once in a while we have a meeting where we want to hear from the local people. How did they come to stay in this place? How have they used mangroves all this time? What else do they do? We have information materials that we develop from time to time, posters, leaflets, signboards, which are placed near the degraded areas. We keep on showing changes. You know, this is where we started and this is where we are. Then we encourage school children to come and learn certain days, okay? Now, the community engagement strategies, participatory rural appraisal. I think all of you have participated in this, where we do the mapping, and the community helps us to do this. We ask them to do mapping of resources in their areas and who are the people who are involved in this. Then we do the ranking, you know, the community action planning. All these things are there. And then that helps the community to own whatever we are doing. Household mobilization, this starts at the time for doing a socioeconomic study, because if you are doing a project like this, which is a carbon project, you want to see the changes. What is going to change because of engaging in this project? So when we do door-to-door campaigns to popularize the meeting and also to find out the status of their livelihoods, that's one of the engagement strategies. Inclusive representation, ensuring women, elders, youth, indigenous groups, fishermen have decision-making roles in this project. And the reason, for example, the fishermen, it's very important because they go looking for bait to catch the fish, and then they destroy the roots of the mangroves. So we really encourage them to be part of the leadership so that they can help us to look for alternatives instead of coming to look for those worms which breed under the trees, under the roots of the mangroves. Then they can look for alternatives like crabs or other small fish that can be used to catch fish. Traditional knowledge integration, we rely so much on the community to tell us, like the planting season. Sometimes we want to plant a certain species and they say, if you plant this at this time, it will not survive. So they understand about the tidal patterns, species adaptation, historical mangrove uses, when it can be harvested and when it should not be harvested. Then hands-on demonstrations, teaching correct planting, depth spacing, hydrology requirements, and seed selection methods. We have a very powerful old man who knows all about the propagules and seeds and how they should be picked. Community engagement during planting. You can see in that picture we have quite a number of people, including the Kenya Forest Service, the uniformed staff there. They all participate. Large coordinated planting events. This is one of the events where we had the governor of our county participating in the planting. Developing community restoration champions, you know, encouraging those who really work hard by giving prizes and all, mobilizing volunteer groups, allocating planting zones to community clusters. Each village gets their own cluster, and within that cluster, they also organize themselves how they want to share, whether they want to integrate the youth or whether the women want to work alone. You know, it's a Muslim society, so sometimes this thing you have to really understand the dynamics of the community. Okay. Training and capacity building, that can never miss in any of the initiatives that we are doing, whether you are doing farm crops or doing natural forests. Training and capacity building is very important. For example, now nursery establishment, we have a guideline on how to set up nurseries for mangroves. On restoration techniques, what do we want to do? We do direct propagule planting, or do we want to raise them in nurseries? Monitoring skills and legal knowledge. That one also, we train them to understand how to do the monitoring. What are you monitoring? What are you measuring? What is the requirement? Does Kenya Forest Service have bylaws? Do they have their own bylaws when they're dealing with some of these species? We have 9 species in Kenya of mangroves, and some people have certain beliefs on some of them. So what is this? What do they believe, and how should they be handled? Okay, let's go on. We motivate communities so that they can stay engaged. You know, carbon projects take between 20 to 40 and even to 100 years. In the case of mangroves, it has to be 100 because the lifespan of a mangrove is 100 years. But the period for payments is at least 40 years. So how do you motivate people to stay engaged? One thing that we have done is we make sure that the local people raise the nurseries, but we support them to do the nurseries. But we buy the seedlings from them when they are ready. And then we pay them. We give them money for labor. In that case, they feel that, you know, this is a very important resource because it has given me money in terms of the seedling, and then I've been given money to plant. And when they participate in monitoring to check the survival rates and all that, we also give them something. We also even give them food during the dry seasons or during the Ramadan period. We make sure that we give them incentives to, you know, to bring us together, to celebrate together, and also support economic activities like beekeeping, ecotourism, the bird walks, bird watching, handicrafts. When you visit us, you will definitely go away with some very beautiful mats and hats so that the sun does not burn your head. We employ the local community. Actually, like now we have 500 local people employed. They are paid because when they plant and then they sell the seedlings, they get a lot of money. Life has changed. And then they are looking forward to receiving these carbon credits, which should be issued next year. Because we've already done certification, and we got certification for CCB, that is climate, community, and biodiversity. And then we got SD Vista. This is Sustainable Development Goals. And this is the only blue carbon project globally that has received SD Vista. And then it's the first one in Kenya again with the CCB standard certified under Vera. So we are feeling that we are really doing quite good. We are working on a project that is going to generate very high level carbon credits. What are the social incentives? Strengthened community cohesion. In the beginning, it was not easy for the community to accept the youth to join them because the youth were rough. You know, they don't know that seedlings are babies. Seedlings must be handled like the way you handle a newborn baby. If you just carry them roughly, they get cut. And we have made a few losses in the beginning, but now they have learned. And then when people volunteer to work, we recognize them. The school children also want to do competition and mud runs. We encourage that. Environmental incentives, restored fisheries, supporting local food security, buffer zones, protecting community homes from storms, cleaner beaches, attracting tourism. Now, these buffer zones are very important because, of course, mangroves grow along the seashore. And there you cannot plant any other trees. So we actually supply trees to farmers that they would like, high value crops like moringa, like improved cashew nuts, grafted mangoes, so that they can now start some industry. And also they can have trees they can prune and get firewood and other products. Let's move on. Partnerships and collaborations. We collaborate, of course, with the Kenya Forest Service. That's our first collaborator because the land belongs to them. Forests are under them. But we also need NEMA for compliance, and because all carbon projects must be registered through the NDA, and NEMA is the NDA. Kenya Wildlife Service, all that wildlife in the ocean is taken care of by the Kenya Wildlife Service. So they are very important partner on this. Research institutions, ChemFree, Kenya Marine and Fisheries Institute have been very instrumental in helping us with the baseline studies. We also have CareFree, who are responsible for research on trees. And then they are very good also at socioeconomic data collection. There are other NGOs and CBOs in the area where we work who are doing other things relevant to mangrove restoration, like growing seaweeds and helping communities to set up these ecotourism ventures. Private sector international partners. We have Linda, who are based in Australia. They are our first and best partners on this project at the moment. But we also get a lot of inquiries from the local banks and other institutions who are interested in working with us or learning from us. Now, how do you ensure that the community stays engaged also? They have to be taught, to be trained how to do monitoring. They have to participate in monitoring so that they can appreciate the changes. Today, as I sit here, we have people who have gone to do an assessment for a new area for planting, and Kenya Forest Service is leading us in this, and we must get local communities to go with them because they understand the history of the area. So now these people, when they'll see this area degraded, when we go planting, they'll also want to go back and see, so what are the changes? And this really encourages them because they tell the story to others that it's possible. That mangroves, although we found them here, they can actually be grown. We can help to rehabilitate them so that we can move faster. Thank you. Move. Now, how do we ensure sustainability on a project like this? We ensure that the communities organize themselves so that they can do patrols. And the reason for doing this sometimes is not just because of poaching, but their own livestock is a danger. They like the young leaves of mangroves because they have salt in them. So you will find livestock will go and clear a whole hectare that you've worked so hard to plant. So community patrols, the young people are trained under Kenya Forest Service so that they can help the rangers to keep compliance. Management plans, we work with the communities to develop the PFMPs, participatory forest management plans, which are renewed every 5 years. And these mangrove participatory plans lay out what is supposed to be done in those 5 years. Then policy advocacy, for example, recently Kenya has just worked on regulations for carbon markets. And the local people had to be involved in saying what is important for them. How will they benefit from the carbon? Until we came to a stage where it was said any activity done in this public forest where communities are involved, the 40% of the earnings will go to the communities. So they are very much aware of that because they are fully participated. So catalysts for change, the community forest associations, we really hold in high esteem, transform passive residents into active stewards. Because if the CFA was not there, if we did not empower them, then the residents would just sit back and say, after all, this is a government forest. Anybody can go and collect whatever they want from the forest, but because we have these CFS as our eye and as the ones convening most of the meetings that we want, because we want them to feel that they own this process. We facilitate and we are there to provide technical advice at all times. And this will ensure that this thing, the sustainability will be ensured. Thank you for listening to me. You can clap for me.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much, Isabella, for your excellent presentation. Although your project is very compliant and ours follows the Plan Vivo standard, the lessons you shared, especially on community mobilization, governance, and sustained engagement, are highly relevant to our work also. So your approach to keeping communities committed through community-led nursery establishment, the buyback scheme, and community-based monitoring is particularly impressive, and we are also following the same approach. These practical insights will greatly support the strengthening of our women-led carbon project in Ethiopia, which is being implemented in the Kaffa zone in southwest Ethiopia. So thank you again for your valuable contribution. If there are any questions, I see some questions in the Q&A area. We'll respond to that later on, later in the question and answer session. So thank you, Isabella. I'll now go to Saifu to present the experience from EthioTrees, which is one of the pioneer projects here in Ethiopia, which has been certified in the Plan Vivo standard. So over to you, Saifu. Saifu, Asama. Mselo. Well, ሰይፉ ከእንደገና ወይ ግባ እናውጣ እስኪ።
ሄሎ
አሁን ይሰማል፣ አሁን ይሰማል። ግሬት ኮንቲኒ ፕሊዝ።
sorry thank you for the invitation my name is Saifu Gebrselassie. I came from Ethiopia, Tigray. Is my screen see in the my PowerPoint see in the screen?
Yes, we can see it. Continue. But
thank you very much.
Make it full screen if you can.
Yeah, I will. Just as introduction, the redness was started in 2019 in Ethiopia, but the southern Ethiopia in generally in Hambo Association carbon credit was initiated 2019. A few years later, Ethiopia was started in Tigray or launched in Tigray, just as reducing the emission from deforestation and forest degradation. The role of conserving and sustainable forest management and enhanced forest carbon credits. It was legally established as Ethiopian Ecosystem Restoration Cooperative in 2016 in a specific area of one of the waradas of Tigray, Dogatemben, with a member of Giant University Geography Department and Mekelle University, jointly with 12 members of farmers from the surrounding. Recently, it was changed to association because of expanding and high demand of community. Then it was formulated as non-profit or association with two aims. The one is to produce aromatic oil from frankincense and eucalyptus, but unfortunately, the distillation was not working perfectly. But for the second aim is to provide innovative climate funds that deals with the environmental rehabilitation, improve rural household income for landless farmers in various villages of Tigray, and we are working on that on the second aim of our starting aim. So how is working? After 2 years, Ethiopia was received high level of Plan Vivo standard. Just for the international certificate for getting the finance of carbon credit. The Plan Vivo standard is certified as a framework just to base it on the payment for ecosystem service. So based the Plan Vivo providers, they have already their own modules. We use the model of Plan Vivo just to get the carbon credit and to help the community. Just the project follows the Plan Vivo standard just to guarantee the carbon credits and especially for both planning and implementation activities, then driving by the local communities. The Plan Vivo believes strongly just to have equal sharing of benefit, just to ensure that the Plan Vivo covers at least 60% of the share from the credits sold goes directly to the community. The other thing is how and what to do the implement. Ethiopia was formulated as a non-cooperative, as I mentioned earlier, with 541 hectares. Currently, we have around 121 carbon credit exclosures. Exclosures means they are excluded from the intervention of human and animal interactions. Then to rehabilitate the environment. So now we are working in 14 waradas of Tigray. We have in phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, just for starting for data collection. And we receive as in 1 year almost around 1.6 million USD. Now totally we have 135 sites in the 14 Warada, and we have around 50,000 household beneficiaries. From that, around 36,000 are male, 13,000 are female beneficiaries. Totally, we have around 253 population benefited in the carbon credit. The project is supported initially by the Ethiopian Belgium Association, and now our financials are private companies. Basically, it is concerned on the environment rehabilitation and rural household income status for the landless villages. In totally, we capture or sequester 144,000 tons of carbon that was trapped from the atmosphere. Based on that, we receive the carbon credits. The main focus of the project is to increase forest cover, to protect the existing exclosure, and to enhance forest for related and livelihood and capacity of the community. The climate funds are not only used for finance ecosystem rehabilitation, but also investments are also made in drinking water, ecosystem rehabilitation, school facilitations, as well as development of economics, such as honey and incense by cooperatives. We have the monitoring system. Based on the Plan Vivo monitoring system, we had 2 times. The first verification was evaluated in 2017 as a baseline. The second one is in 2023, just based on the Plan Vivo system. Already Plan Vivo have their own mechanisms for verification systems. Then they perform or they measure all the activities on the ground. The rate of annual change from the verification report, we had a good increment. Just the total sequestration rate was getting 11.4 ton carbon per hectare. Just this is a positive impact, slightly higher than the initial product is around 10.3 carbon per hectare. The result was interesting and getting additional rewards around 2017, 273,000 or USD or 35 millions, because having a good rehabilitation activities on the ground. The main changes are just as to see the flora species are rose from 70 to 99 in 2004, while the biodiversity is increasing from 2.2 up to 2.6 in 2003. There is also good in environmental rehabilitation, increased groundwater availability, and so on. The other thing is, what was done at the beginning was just the first thing is the willingness of the community. We always follow very fair and enforced consensus from the community. They request first by themselves, and we facilitate on the data collection. The second one is in every exclosure, we make a reconnaissance survey, just to conduct to monitor or to collect the data. The third one is the data collection methods, just for monitoring the carbon sequestration. We use the protocol from that was developed by Mekelle University, Bureau of Agricultural Natural Resource the Regional Bureau of Agriculture and Natural Resources of Tigray, with forest projects that measures the biomass measuring and the soil sample has to be taken. Then all the protocols are including this basic issues. We had also used the GPS reading in all sampling because we always resampling after 5 years. So we have already the baseline of for all our samples GPS reading. In every exclosure, we have also 12 member of communities representatives just to prepare the baseline map and future map of the exclosure. That means what they want to do on the future. Actually, the project is for 20 years. So they first distinguish what is the current status of their exclosure and what they need in the future. All this they prepare based on the Plan Vivo standard, like the map of the areas. When you see this, the change is looking like this as you have seen in the picture. When we are starting in the first, it looks like, but now it changes to this coverage. The other thing is the agroforestry activity. Actually, agroforestry, we have 3 nursery sites, not only for the agroforestry, but also for the exclosure development activities. The one is the fruit nursery. The second one is the two are 3 nurseries. In every year, we produce some seedlings. Mostly, we are focusing on rehabilitation activities by protecting simply, not by planting more. But in agroforestry, we had to plant some seedlings just to initiate the farmers. But it's the interest of the community as well as the ecology. We produce some seedlings as we have seen in the screen. The agroforestry practices are introducing in 2013. Is recently, in the first time we have 114 interest farmers, and they plant around 6,000 seedlings. In 2014, in 2024, sorry, they join around 800 individual farmers, and they plant around 4,000 seedlings. They receive around 7.8 million birr in Ethiopian currency. And also in 2025, we had also around 788 new farmers jointly. They plant around 97 seedlings. Totally, we have around 1,715 two farmers in agroforestry practice. It is new, but we are practicing in small things. To see the change within 2 years, within 1 year, some of the species are reached around 2 meter height, and the good farmer that has good survival rate gets around 113 birr in one time. We had, in general, we have received the carbon credit. What we are doing is we are doing a lot of activities on the ground. The social investment, we call it social investments, just to empowering the community via access of water, school, and other activities. In general, we had a lot of moisture harvesting activities, and as you know, Tigray is very dry. The communities are drinking from the pond, as you have seen in the photo. Directly from the rain, the communities collect the water and they use for 3-4 months in the dry time. So we implement a lot of activities on that one. We also encourage the community by constructing canals for irrigation purpose. Just there is groundwater in some areas, then we construct some canals to facilitate or to encourage the community. The other thing is introducing alternative energies for the to facilitate or to enhance or to mobilize the community. We support solar home system. Around 6,901 household was supported solar system. We also install one solar power at one high school just to empower the students. The other thing is construction of schools. Just to empower the community, we construct some schools. Up to now, in 2021, we were construct 8 classrooms just to make good class and to make quality education. In 2024-25, we also construct around 28 classrooms or 8 blocks. Then the communities are benefited. We also support on maintenance just to see the use on the shadow, especially in the center. If you see the photos, just we are making system suitable environment for the students. Just to see some of the photo for schools. The other thing is we have also a student project to incentivize school attendances, just to mobilize the communities to carry out their exclosures. Then the students are coming out from the community and we support school material for the communities. Sorry, maybe our time is fast. We also support or allow to take grass from the exclosures just to make ownership of the exclosure for the community. They use the grass from the exclosure. We also support some emergency supporters, especially since November 2020 because of the war. We support also some incentives for the community. The best practice in our project is already the exclosures, as I mentioned, the exclosures are well protected and the communities are interested to protect the exclosures. Conducting regular joint monitoring, review meeting with the communities. We had a lot of review meeting with community to enhance or to facilitate to increase the interest of the community on protecting the exclosure. We also receive the international certificate. Just it is good for getting the carbon credit also. We always provide or approach to be an effective and cost-efficient ways just to make practices. The carbon credit also highly appreciated by the community because already they know the benefit from that one, and it increases the livelihood of each households, and the community are very interested and they are good to adapt the system. The matching practice also local content, the better acceptance community and government increase and adoption of the exclosure is good. Conducted assessments reflecting and funds sharing results with partner also had greatly improved with sustain of the project. The project always follow or give and take ideas with the stakeholder, with the communities. the Plan Vivo investments, the communities themselves decide to what they need, because we always follow the bottom to top approach. So this is one good practices. They allow also to cut and carry. We also create a job opportunities, because different users participated, different communities, the farmer itself is participated in the different activities. For instance, we had already around 39 office employers, 212 data collectors, forest rangers, nursery employers, and agroforestry farmers. So in general, we benefit around 13,000 labor force and water conservation activities. The main challenge is the politics, lack of participation plans, effective bylaws, few resource conflict also in sharing there is less community participation on due to the surge. You know that Tigray currently is under the surge. There is also some lack of access on transportation, high inflation rate, shortage of high and high price of industrial material. For solution, or maybe the time is up. Thank you for attention and for all.
Thank you very much, Saifu, for your excellent presentation and for sharing the EthioTree's experience with us. Your insights into Plan Vivo certification, community engagement, and also benefit sharing mechanisms are extremely valuable for our project and for others as well. The way EthioTrees empowers local communities, strengthens governance structures, and ensures transparent carbon revenue distribution is truly inspiring. So your practical lessons on the monitoring, the tree survival, on long-term sustainability will greatly help us as we advance our women-led carbon initiative in Ethiopia. I sincerely appreciate your contribution and thank you for that. So now, as you have said, we are running out of time, but I hope participants will keep on listening. So we'll have a quick question and answer session. Dr. Trevena, if you can facilitate this session for us, please.
Thank you very much, Isabella and Sefo, for the great presentations that are very clear, very inspiring, and with our project, we are looking forward to also achieving the gains that you have already achieved. You've made a lot of milestones so far. So I would like to invite the plenary if you have any questions.
We have
for
some
the
questions.
two of them.
Yeah, we have some questions in the Q&A area first, and there are some people who have already raised their hands.
Record. There are others. What is the community benefits sharing mechanism you put in place for the Ethiopia project? And also, what is the net carbon income for 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent? Another participant has asked, what is the carbon credit units generated for the Ethiopia and mangrove projects in how many years?
So let Dr. Jonas respond to these ones first, then we'll continue. Dr. Jonas, are you around? I don't think he's around, or let me see.
No. Hello.
Yes, we can hear.
Please, could you please?
Continue, please.
Yeah. I didn't hear the question, please. Come again.
The
Okay, the question
first question was, what is the community benefit sharing mechanism you have put in place for the Ethiopia project? Also, what is the net carbon income for 1 ton carbon dioxide equivalent? Now, there are two Ethiopia projects that are presented here, one by Osrea and another one by EthioTrees. So, Dr. Jonas, you go first, then we hear from Seifo.
Okay, thank you. Let me begin with the second question, if I get you correctly. It depending on the market actually, but the minimum 1 tons of in the voluntary market, the minimum price set is in the available market now is $10, equivalent to 1 tons, but it goes up to $150 actually. So this will depending on the quality of the project and at the same time the buyer's demand. But we expect that since our projects are purely organically based approach, so expect high premium price as compared to the classical.
Yes, Dr. Seifo. Seifo, you are muted. Unmute, please. Alemu, can you assist?
Yeah, Saifu, unmute አድርገው መጀመሪያ mute አድርገዋል.
Hello?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, just I was present in the presentation. The community benefit sharing mechanism was already put it in the Plan VO standard. In our case, we have 16% is directly goes to the community. That means from the total sale of the carbon credits, for 1 ton of carbon dioxide equivalent was around 20 USD.
Okay.
What about Isabella? What does Vera say about the sharing mechanism?
Just the sharing mechanism is already the Plan VO is put it the sharing mechanisms. We had, as I mentioned, we have already 135 exclosures. Then we have an allocation by the size, and 50% is by the size, and 50% is the amount of carbon dioxide sequestrated in each exclosures. Then based on that, we distribute it to the community. And in our case, we didn't pay for communities. What we had done is we implement the social investment.
Yeah.
For instance, as I mentioned, we construct the schools, we construct water ponds, we construct the current problem in the community. But in the wartime, we were distributed the money just equally for each households, not only for per person, but for each per household.
Thank you, Isabella. If you can hear me, what is the sharing mechanism that Vera has put in place for you?
No, Vera does not give us the sharing mechanism. They give you a formula for setting up the project. Our benefit sharing is directed by the Kenyan law. Under the carbon regulations, that were signed by the president last year, we are advised how to share according to project. In this case, this is public land, which then is actually held in trust for the people of Kenya by Kenya Forest Service. So the land belongs to the people in this case. The communities are to be given 40% of whatever will be the net income. And
Okay.
the government, of course, as the owner of the land, we are in discussions with them. We think that maybe they should get something like 10%, because the other 50% will be distributed between the investors and the managers of the project on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then the next question is, what is the carbon credit units generated for Ethiopia and mangrove projects? And in how many years? I think this was answered in the presentation by Seifu. Seifu, please.
Yes.
What is the carbon credit units generated for the Ethiopia and mangrove projects?
Actually, in Ethiopia, the carbon credit unit is generated is already 1 ton of carbon dioxide is equivalent to 20,000 euros on average. But when Ethiopia was started, it was 6 USD, 60. So now it was increased from time to time, because as Dr. Jonas mentioned, carbon credit is already the market is already under negotiation, because we are using the voluntary carbon system. So our partners are always negotiated with the highest price. So currently we are getting 20 USD per 1 ton of carbon dioxide.
Well, we are hoping to pay people up to 40 years. And in total, at the end of it, I think we have generated maybe 1.3 billion credits or something. You know, now the price depends on, it fluctuates. It's like the stock market. But I know for the best blue carbon credits from mangroves, it's between $65 to $600. Imagine, depending on who's buying. So, but let's be modest. Maybe let's say $42 at the moment, but we hope it can go up to even 200, so that people can actually benefit. It's very hard work to plant mangroves. That should be taken.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There is a question here about, could you clarify the process used to select the 12 members and indicate the duration of their term in office before new members are appointed? I don't know where, this is a question from Rita. Is this for Ethiopia or for?
Yes, this is for Saifu.
Yes, Seifu. Hello, Seifu. Take it on.
To select the 12 member, as I mentioned, the first thing is we are always working with free and fair with the interest of the community. We don't enforce the community to join to us. So the community itself, they select 12 members as a representative for preparing plan, for leading the meetings, for proposing what they need, and for preparing the plan vivo maps. But in the first, we had two types of 12 committees. The one is we have already, as I mentioned, we start Ethiotrus as a cooperative. Just to make cooperative, we should have some members. Then me and some of our colleagues from Belgium select the 12 members from different tabias, just the administration of, for administration purpose. Because at that time we don't have any options to start the EthioTrees. Already the Belgium guys, they are coming as a research activities for research purpose. But they need to support the communities. So because of that, we established 12 committees as a cooperative. If it's clear.
Yeah. I hope, Rita,
Then
your
the
question has
12
been
committees
answered.
are the main actors or the main evaluators of now the EthioTrees association.
So the Ethiopian team, EthioTrees, used the cooperative approach. We also had the Osorea is also using the same, but initially Dr. Jonas had talked about the community members from the Kebele being volunteers joining the project to plant the trees. So the next question is again for Seifu and I think Jonas. Before I go to the questions for Bella, Marta is asking, how do we make sure every CFA member gets the same amount of motivation, and what procedures are in place for that? What procedures are in place for that to ensure that every member gets the same amount of motivation? I think this also incorporates the Paparico team, the UMITA team, because he's asking about PFMs incorporated in CFA, or do they work independently? I repeat the question. How do we make sure every community forest association member gets the same amount of motivation? And what procedures are in place for that? Secondly, does PFMs incorporate in CFA, or do they work independently?
Actually, the community forest we don't have community forest association. We have already community representatives because the exclosures are managed by the communities, but we didn't call it. We didn't register as a community forest association. They have already the use of right, but they don't have the proper right. So in our case, what we are doing is just to have the same motivation. First, we tell what the aim of the EthioTrees, what can get from EthioTrees if they are joined willingly. We have already experts for motivation the farmers. We always working strongly with the government offices, with the government staffs. Then they know how to motivate the farmers. But they don't have legal community forest association. They have already what you call it an administration level as a watershed level. We use with based on that. Maybe the second time also we don't have participatory forest management.
I think
now we are coming to prepare new document because of Just we have already in Ethiopia the new proclamation for carbon credit. We are ongoing to make.
Thank you, Saif.
I
Yeah,
think the
sorry.
Thank
question
you.
was for Isabella also.
For Isabella. Oh,
Yes.
it is Kenya, so I was wondering Kenya. Kenya. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
For Kenya. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think for us, the community forest associations cannot operate well without the participatory forest management plan, because this participatory forest management plan lays out the programs that should be done in that forest for the 5 years. Now, the participatory forest management plan is executed by forming user groups. And user groups are based on the user rights, which are contained in a legal document called the Forest Management Agreement. The Forest Management Agreement is something that the leader of the CFA must sign together with the head of the Kenya Forest Service, the Chief Conservator of Forests. And that gives them the mandate to give rights to people like us now who go to the forest to work with them as implementers or investors in whatever we want to do. You cannot work in any Kenyan forest without going through the CFA, who have been given the power by the government to share their rights with other people. So how do people benefit from this PFMP? You have to be a member of a CFA, so that then the rights can also be given to you as part of the community.
Thank you, Isabella. How did your community forest association successfully balance traditional knowledge with scientific restoration methods? Because a hybrid of the two is very, very key in biodiversity restoration.
Can you ask that again?
How did your CFAs successfully balance traditional knowledge with scientific restoration methods?
Well,
because the hybrid of the two is very critical in biodiversity restoration.
Okay, as I told you, our baseline studies were mainly conducted by Kenya experts from the Kenya Marine and Fisheries Institute. In Kenya, the Kenyan Constitution recognizes traditional knowledge in the first place. So when they come to the ground to collect any information, the local people must be part of the team. I have told you today we are in Mutwapa Creek, where we are assessing new sites for expanding the project. And the local people are there because they are the ones who understand the history. They are the ones who will tell you what species does better where. So it is very important that their input is sought from the beginning. You don't bring them later. Let them be part of the assessment today to identify the degraded sites, because the questions that will be asked today are, why was this area degraded? And when was it degraded? Because some of them may remember, some may not remember. They'll tell you if there was a factory that was beginning somewhere and they needed a lot of firewood, or if it was serving the 5-star hotels, so they had to make charcoal. They'll tell you what the problem was. So that knowledge is important. Or if a calamity happened many years ago that may have caused this. So they are very important, and all that information is written in the report.
Thank you very much. We actually are out of time, but one more question for Isabella. You mentioned several mobilization strategies that you have been using, like use of barazas, PRA, women's roles, youth involvement, storytelling, and the like. But which of these strategies it has been most transformative, and why?
Well, I think what the most transformative one is the storytelling, because it's new. It's a new thing. And people like to tell stories and laugh. You know, there's a lot of stress in the world. And now when you get a chance to sit with these people and they tell you the stories, all sorts of stories, I think it's helping, because some of them cannot write. So the best thing is to record them. What, like we ask them, what has been good on this project? Can you tell us what is good? You see, now you can't tell people to start writing for you such things. But when they express themselves, like, you know, we have done this, our villagers now changed, we are no longer using makuti, we are using iron sheets, we have changed our houses from mud houses, now we are using stones or something like that. You know, those are things you feel nice hearing them, as opposed to when they're written down. Yeah.
I think
I think this should now even go ahead. Instead of people writing proposals, why don't we have the communities just tell us the story of what they want done in their area in the form of a story, and then we present it as a proposal? Because sometimes you spend a lot of time writing all these proposals and then you don't even get anything in the end. You are told, oh, your proposal was very nice, but you'd be considered next time. But at least if somebody had heard the story, they'd laugh and say, let me give these people something so they can keep on.
That is being very hopeful, Seifu. But Isabella, I can say, looking at what Seifu's presentation has been, sharing what was 12 years ago and what it is today, and for sure we now have rehabilitated land in Tigray, and the process is still ongoing. Other than the stories, also the photos telling the story about, because it's an outcome-based monitoring mechanism that they are using there, which is very, very commendable. Yeah. So I want to hand over to Alemu to close this
there is
very
one more
interesting
question.
and informative webinar.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Tufel. There is one more question from whoever is called Gust. Gust, can you talk?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, what was your question?
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Matthias. I'm currently in Tigray. Actually, I have been spent sometimes in the field where the EthioTrees projects are active. Actually, I'm not only working on the EthioTrees, I'm also working on the WeForest and also Red Plus projects. I have a couple of questions, and maybe I should start with for Dr. Jonas. Dr. Jonas, you mentioned that you have around 100 something women already organized. Can you please explain what's the criteria to select those women? I guess they should have at least a land where they can conduct an agroforestry. Don't you think this increase marginalities between those farmers who don't have a land? The second question is, why is that not possible to start on existing agroforestries instead of establishing new agroforestries? And as you may know, in Ethiopia, we don't have a really strict land use policy, and our farmers usually continue focus on income generating activities. For example, they are planting a lot of eucalyptus on farmland. Don't you think this kind of carbon initiative also displaced traditional agriculture? and also again marginalize those communities or those farmers who have not enough land to implement the agroforestry system. The other one is in the case of this global carbon market, which is not predictable and also very volatile. Don't you think that it has some kind of problem in the future if we will not have generate an income from this carbon money? Because I heard that, for example, the Ethiopian government already holds a verified carbon that he wanted to sell, but couldn't find a carbon money to generate. So, which might be then kind of say, broke the trust between farmers and your organization. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Sorry.
Gus. Mikias, is it Mikias? You said Mikias?
No, Matthias.
Matthias. Okay, Matthias. Dr. Jonas, I think he has dropped off right now because of connection. I have received a text from him, but we'll respond to you if you can drop your email. We'll respond to your questions, and we're also running out of time. So with that, I think please drop your email and we'll respond back to you. So thank you all for joining us today. I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to our presenters, Isabella and Saifu, for sharing such rich and practical experiences from both the Paparico Mangrove Restoration Project and the EthioTrees Plan Vivo initiative. Your insights on community engagement, governance, nursery development, MRV, benefit sharing will meaningfully inform and strengthen our own women-led carbon project in the Kaffa Zone, Ethiopia. My gratitude also goes to our participants and partners across the EthioLatinCoffee community of practice for your active engagement and continued support. Today's exchange reflects the true spirit of South-South cooperation, where learning flows across countries and communities to build stronger and more resilient climate solutions. So we look forward to continuing this collaboration as we advance our carbon credit pilot and expand our knowledge sharing platforms in the months ahead. We will be having similar kinds of webinars in the coming months, and I hope you will participate in those also. So thank you once again, and we wish you all a pleasant day. Thanks so much. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.